This is Michael Prasad with Church Brand Guide. Our topic is how to set up your church as their guide. So, as a church, you need to be the guide to their story. So, in other videos and different conversations that you've probably listened to with Church Brand Guide, we're really big on positioning yourself to reach a target audience, the audience that you're trying to reach. And depending on what that audience is, they're going to have a problem. And the problem could vary in different ways, but as a church, you can position yourself as a guide so that they can find the solution to their problem. And for us, we know that solution is Jesus. It's guiding them to Jesus so then he can speak to them and help them get through their issues. So as a church, we aren't the hero to the story. As a brand, we should not position ourselves as the hero to the story. Come and, we've got all the answers. We should instead position ourselves as a guide. So they are the hero to their story. They are the hero that needs to get it right so that they can achieve what they want to achieve in their life. So if you're a father, you might have a great desire to raise great kids that have great moral compass, that do the right thing, and that you can enjoy. So you might have a problem where you don't know what to do. So as a church, how can you partner with a young parent to help guide them to be the great father that they want to be? So position your church as a guide to their story. So if your audience is maybe single moms, again, how can you position yourself to be a guide to their story? Maybe it's to maybe the poor people in your community. How can you position yourself to guide them and help them? So as a guide, the church should be able to point to a simple plan. So a guide should provide a simple plan that helps somebody get the answers that they need. Let's think about it just in a different perspective. If you know the movie Star Wars, you know that there is this character, the original series. There's this character called his name is Luke Skywalker, and he has a problem in that they wanted the Empire wants to destroy the rebels and take over, and Luke wants to defeat the Empire. So in order to do this, he goes and gets trained by Yoda, and Yoda is the guide. So Yoda provides a simple plan that, hey, Luke, you have to be trained, and then once you're trained, you have to go face your father and defeat your father. So it's a simple plan, and then the movie basically unfolds. The original first series kind of unfolds with that simple plan of Luke defeating his father. So what can you do in church world to provide a simple plan? God has done this for us. He models for us a simple plan to salvation, that Jesus is the only way. By accepting him as your Savior, you can know God. So in a very broad brush context, all of humanity desires and longs for connection to God, and Jesus allows that to happen, where we can connect with God, and we no longer have to be separated by our sin. So God provides us with a simple plan. How can we as a church provide a simple plan to the people that are walking through our doors at the church? Maybe they come for the first time. What's the simple plan that gets them to where they need to be? So maybe for you, it's to for them to receive salvation, then go to some sort of a membership class, and then start serving in the church. And for you, maybe that's the simple plan that helps get people where they need to go in context of your church. But what does that look like? Spend some time and figure that out. Once you have that figured out, you can then take aim and take action. So you're able to serve your audience well and guide them on a simple path that helps them, and then you can put the right action behind it so that you have that journey taking place within your church. So it sounds simple, but it takes a lot of time and energy to put the plan into place and to make that happen as a church organization. I'll show you just real quick what it has looked like at Life Mission Church, where I do a lot of work in consulting. This is a simple plan that we've developed, and it's just a path that guides people from being a consumer into being a disciple into being a producer, and then eventually becoming a leader within their family, a leader within the church, a leader within their community. So that's the simple plan to guide people from on this journey. And then the values of the church and the purpose of the church takes them through this journey and helps get them where they need to go. The different classes and everything else all line up to help people take this journey. So, what does that look like for you? What does that look like for your church? The Bible says in Matthew 5:16, "And let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify the Father in heaven." So we are supposed to let the light shine. As a church, your church is supposed to shine brightly in the community. And branding allows you to do that because you're being so strategic about what you're trying to accomplish that you're able to shine brightly in the community. You're able to allow people to see the great things that are happening in the church. You're being intentional so that people can see what's happening within the walls of the church that are not in the walls of the church, that are in the community, that life change is happening, that people are getting better in different areas because you are a guide pointing them to Jesus, who ultimately helps them. You know, there's a story in 2 Kings chapter 3 where Elisha is given a word from God. The Israelites were stuck in this battle, and they're in a valley, and they didn't have the resources they needed to win the battle. But then Elisha tells them to dig trenches in the valley. You dig these trenches all over the valley. So they spent all day digging trenches in the valley, like Elisha had asked them to do because of the word of God. And then the next day, there was water that filled the valley. Some sort of a flood of some kind filled the valley and then went away. But because there was trenches there, it kept the water, and the Israelites had what they needed to feed their camels water and resupply themselves and then win the battle. So they dug these trenches so that they would have the resources. So God can then come in and provide the resources so they could win the battle. What I'm trying to illustrate is the branding process allows you to dig those trenches. It allows you to plan ahead to do what you can do so that God could come in and do what he does, so that many people can be reached, and so that your light shines brightly in your community. So branding is just a tool that we use so that we are very intentional. A lot of corporations use this, and I'm just passionate about learning all I can about branding and how corporations do this to sell products, to sell services. But then how can we take that as a church and begin to be strategic so that we are able to do the same thing and reach people with the gospel, which matters more than anything else. So I hope this helps you to begin to think strategically about how do you reach your audience, how do you guide them, what kind of a plan can you put together to guide them towards life change the way that God has called you to reach your community. And then you're able to shine brightly in your community as that light that God has called us to be. Thanks for joining me today on the Church Brand Guide podcast. Just want to let you know about a couple of resources that you can take advantage of. The first one is on Facebook. Church Brand Guide on Facebook is a great resource. We do case studies with Facebook Live quite a bit. With Facebook Live, we're also able to answer your questions. So if you have questions that are specific to your church, I'd love to connect with you on Facebook and just provide whatever information I can, or even resources, links, anything like that. Facebook allows us to do that. So check us out on Facebook. Also check out the churchbrandguide.com website. We've got a free stuff that you can download, and it's going to help you. There's an ebook that's on how to brand my church, and it just basically walks you through the basics of branding and why you need it. So check that out for sure. There's also a course that I've created that walks you through branding from top to bottom, gives you a bunch of PDF downloads to help you walk through the process for your church. So it's super helpful if you're ready for that, if you're ready to go through the branding process. This is a great investment to make sure you do it right. It's not going to cost you a whole lot, but it's going to make sure that you get it right so that you're going to gain a whole lot. There's also a way to connect with me directly. If you want me to guide you through the branding process, go to churchbrandguide.com, reach out to me, and I'll get with you, and then we'll figure out what that looks like for you to help you go through the branding process, and for me to work with you on that. Well, thanks again for joining me today on the Church Brand Guide podcast. I'll see you next time.